welcome. I hope the orientation of the video, where's my camera? My camera is down there, so let me look into the camera. Let me know if you're joining live, what it looks like. In actual fact, let me see if I can go on my other phone. Let's just pause this. Let's do some housekeeping just to make sure that everything looks right. Let me see. Okay. So, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Give it a few minutes for friends to come in. Okay, it says I'm live. There's going to be a little bit of noise, so let's see what it's saying. Oh, okay. All right. So it's lagging a bit, and you can pick up some of the background noise. I'm on a farm, so there are people on the farm working and doing their usual stuff. So I think everything looks fine. All right. Okay. So yeah, that's okay. We can always improve on it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. It's good to have you in the house. Just doing some quick housekeeping to make sure the video is okay. Please do comment in the comment box to let me know. Let me actually pull up the video without the sound on, just to be sure that if you are leaving any comments, I can see them. The ugly stage of Freeform Locs. We've done 2 minutes and we've not said anything. But yeah, first proper live on my mobile device. I wish to say thank you to all of you who are in the community, because it is because of you that I'm able to do this live on my mobile device. I used to be able to do live, or can do live, on my laptop, but not on the phone. And I think because the numbers have increased in the community, I'm able to go live on my mobile phone, even though I don't have all the live features yet. But as we grow, that would happen. So the ugly stage of Freeform Locs. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for the ugly stage. Whilst we're talking about Freeform Locs, let us show our Freeform Locs. Okay, so we had a wash yesterday, and these are what mine are looking like right now. The ugly stage of Freeform Locs. You know, I'll be honest with you. I bought into that narrative. I definitely bought into that narrative even before I became a Freeform Loc wearer, having my loose natural hair. There were times in my loose natural hair journey when either I had just cut them, and then I would look at it and think, oh, this is ugly. As we get older and we transition through life and we grow, I can speak for myself that I'm always unlearning and relearning, always unlearning and relearning to better myself. And I ask myself, really, what stage really is that ugly stage? Is there really anything as an ugly stage? Is it when we just first started? Is it at 2 months? Is it at 6 months? Is it at 3 months? That's my question. I also said a tree like a plant. And we know that trees and plants have to go through certain stages for them to get to what we call a tree, or for you to harvest the fruits from it, or the vegetables from it, or the seeds from it. So therefore, if that's the case, when do we deem the tree as being ugly? Because the small stage has to happen before the mature stage happens. It has to go through that. For me, as I said, I bought into the narrative until I questioned myself and I said, actually, Deborah, that's just not true. There isn't any ugly stage. What happens with Freeform Locs is it goes through this excuse me, it goes through this transitional stage. It's always changing, probably every day. But there are periods when it's changing. You would look at your locks and you will be like, they don't look the same as they did yesterday. Also, I feel like this so-called ugly stage is actually just a time in our lock journey when we feel like we're just not feeling our hair. And we have days like that, not just with our hair, with our whole being, where we wake up and then something just doesn't feel right. But there is nothing really known as an ugly stage, because what stage, at what point is it? Is it because it's sticking up? Is that the ugly stage? Is it because it's not a certain length? Is that the ugly stage? Is it because they are sparse? Is that the ugly stage? Is it because they're really thin? Is that the, I think it's the expectations we have of our freeform locks or our locks. And when it doesn't do what we expect, then it's easy for us, or it's easy for me to say they are ugly. Is it when they're mature, they become beautiful? Thank you so much for joining. Hello. Thank you for joining. How are you? Let me know where you're joining from. Please do leave a comment in the comment box. I'll be able to see your comments on my other phone, hopefully. Yeah, so is it when the locks have matured, that's when they become pretty and beautiful? Does that then mean, if that's the case, that we as human beings, or you as a person, or me, Deborah, does that mean that when I was young, I wasn't beautiful, I was ugly? But I'm older now, I'm beautiful. It's, as they say, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And there's so many standards out there, so many societal standards, that those days when you're not feeling your hair, or if you do use the terminology ugly, that is the time to actually wear your hair out. Because I tell you, this freeform thing is no joke, and it is not for the faint of heart. You have to have some serious confidence to be able to wear your hair at any stage, out or covered. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. So that pretty much is all I wanted to say in this live broadcast. There was something else I wanted to also say to you. I will be doing more lives. Make the most of this feature. And the next video I will be doing will be I've got my notes here, the two most important ingredients for freeform locks. Two most. I think that's all we really need. I think that's all we really need if you want to lock your hair or you are free forming. So let me check my notes for this video on the ugly stage of freeform locks. What ugly stage? What ugly stage, really? And it really isn't. It's just a transitional change. And there will be a time when you get to another stage, or another, to a point where you feel like, you see that stage you called ugly, you'll miss it. That stage you called ugly, you'll miss it, and you can never get it back. That's the thing. When your hair is short and it's sticking up, you can't go back to that stage when they are longer and dropping. Yeah, and you can't fast forward when you are at the short stage to have the hair that you want to have. It just is a process, and it would all happen when it's supposed to happen, and it will continuously and forever be changing. It'll never stay the same forever. So yeah, leave your comments in the comment box. I'm looking at my notes just to be sure that I have covered everything. So when you do feel like you're not feeling your hair, rock it, spruce yourself up, cheer yourself up with something else other than your hair. There is a whole being to us as human beings, not just our hair that makes us who we are. Yes, it's our crown and it's on the top of our head, but there is more to us than just our hair. And also think about this. There are so many people out there who desire to have hair on their head and they don't even have any, let alone they would even love to have something on their hair, and we are calling what we have ugly. They will be like, yeah, give me the ugly. They have no hair on their head because of ill health, bad management of their hair, balding, aging, medication, all sorts of different things that just does not enable them to have hair on their head. So if we have something on our head and we choose to call it ugly, well, if you choose to call it ugly, that is up to you. You do have a right to do that. But personally, I have decided to move away from that narrative and just say it is what it is. It will do what it needs to do and it will keep changing and transitioning. Okay, so that pretty much is it. Thank you so much for joining this live. Thank you for watching it on the replay. And thank you for all your comments on all the videos. Do check out the video called The Metamorphosis of Freeform Locs. I did talk a bit more about what I'm talking about now, or part of what I'm talking about in that video. Check that out. Until the next one, let's sign out. My name is Deborah, and you are joining me on Nonconformist Eyewear here on YouTube. Keep liking, subscribing, and sharing. Ciao.